Okay, today we are learning about Chapter 2, Lesson 4, which can be found on pages 99 through 104 in your textbook and online. Our objective is I can see patterns of zeros when I multiply exponents in powers of 10. Vocabulary would be powers of 10. Question 1, when you multiply 6 times 103, how many zeros will be in the product? Question 2, 27 times 102 equals 27 times blank. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this video on the powers of 10.
How many hundreds are in 3,200? In this lesson, you will learn about the relationship between digits on a place value chart by multiplying by powers of 10. Let's review. When we use base 10 blocks to represent place value, we know that 10 ones create a group of 10. The tens are 10 times larger than the ones. If we increase 10 times, we create a group of 100. 10 groups of 10 equals 100. And again, if we increase 100 10 times, we create 1,000. 1,000 is made with 10 groups of 100. 1,000 is 10 times larger than 100. A common mistake that many students have is getting confused when visualizing numbers that are bigger than 1,000. For example, how do you use base 10 blocks to represent 100,000 or numbers that are even larger? Let's start by investigating the powers of 10. If we look at the number 4 and we increase 4 10 times, we create the number 40. 40 is 10 times bigger than 4. And you'll notice that we added a 0. Let's increase 40 10 times. If we increase 40 10 times, we create 400. 400 is 10 times bigger than 40, and we added another 0. Let's look at the number 24 and increase 24 10 times. If we increase 24 10 times, we create the number 240. 240 is 10 times bigger than 24. Let's look at the number 24 on a place value chart. At the top, you will notice that 24 is made up of 2 tens and 4 ones. If we multiply 24 times 10, we create 240, and we add a 0 to our 24. If we increase that by 10 again and multiply by 100, we add 2 zeros and create 2,400. And again, if we shift over on the place value chart and multiply by 1,000, we add 3 zeros and create 24,000. You may wonder, well, how many tens are in 4,000? Let's look at the number 4 on a place value chart. As the 4 moved down, it increased by 10 each time. Since we're wondering how many tens are in 4,000, let's look at the tens. We can see that there are 400 tens in 4,000. 400 times 10 is 4,000. Let's look at another number. How many hundreds are in 3,200? Since we're focusing on the hundreds, we need to look at the hundreds column, and we will see that there are 32 hundreds in 3,200. 32 times 100 is 3,200. Let's look at that same number, but this time let's see how much larger is 3,200 than 32. If we look at the 32 and 3,200, we notice that we've shifted over the 32 on the place value chart 2 times. The first time we increased by 10, and then we increased by 10 again. 10 times 10 is 100. So 3,200 is 100 times larger than 32. In this lesson, you have learned about the relationship between digits on a place value chart by multiplying by powers of 10.
Okay, so if you look at page 100 in your textbook, I think it gives you really good steps that you can work on. So first it shows you a step for if you're dealing with exponents. So it gives you the example 13 times 10 to the second power. So it tells you first write it without the exponents. So we know that would be 13 times 10 times 10 because 10 to the second power would just be 10 times 10. Then you're going to count the number of zeros in the power of 10. So 10 times 10 is 100, so there's 2 zeros there. Then we're going to compare the number of zeros to the exponent of 10 to the second power. So I'll just go ahead and put these on so you can see. So these are the same. And our third step here would be to write the zeros to the right of the 13. So we're just putting those zeros on the end. So remember, we started over here with 13 times 10 times 10, or times 100. We put 2 zeros. We figured out there was 2 zeros in 100, and we put those on the end of 13. So the product is 1,300. And here's another example if you just had a problem with a lot of zeros in it. So this one is 40 times 7,000. So the first thing you're going to do is write the basic multiplication fact. So in this case, it'd be 4 times 7. We're going to ignore those zeros for now. So we know 4 times 7 is 28. Then we're going to count the number of zeros that were in each of these factors. So there's 1 0 in 40, and there were 3 in 7,000. So we have a total of 4 zeros. So that means our answer, our product, is going to have a total of 4 zeros in it. So that basic fact answer was 28. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to write the zeros to the right of that product. So 4 zeros. So our product is 280,000. So that's shown once again on page 103 in your textbook, on your homework helper. It does it with the exponent. So remember, 10 squared, or 10 to the second power, is just 10 times 10. So that means it's 100, 10 times 10. So same thing here, 36 times 10 squared, 2 zeros in 100. So we put those 2 zeros after the 36, and our product is 3,600. Okay, so we're going to look back at those two questions, and when I was looking back, I realized I messed up when I introduced them, so look at them now. So this is supposed to be an exponent, this 3 right here. I'm having trouble making it look like an exponent, so just pretend it's up there. So really, when you multiply 6 times 10 to the third power, not 103. Okay, so 6 times 10 to the third power, how many zeros will be in the product? Same thing with question 2. 27 times 10 to the second power, or 10 squared. So not 102, this is not 102. Pretend it's 10 to the second power, even though the 2 is kind of small. Okay, so go ahead and answer those, and that's it for today.